Ladies and gentlemen, we are at 2021. It's Mother's Day, and I'm going to give a shout out to all the good mothers out there. The reason why I say all the good mothers with that preface is because I think that we need to start doing like what we've been doing with men for a very long time, and we got to separate the difference. Because if you don't separate the bad ones from the good ones, it'll taint everybody else and make it really will kind of hurt us all, right? And I know we have a ton of good mothers out there. And I think the majority of mothers, especially in their hearts, are good women, good mothers. And I want to give a shout out and wish you guys a happy Mother's Day. But the individual that we're getting ready to talk about, let me see if I can get her on the screen. This woman right here is one of those bad apples that I believe needs to be cast out. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say some things that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. So I ask that you guys listen with an open mind and an open heart, okay? Now, Memphis, Tennessee. We're learning more about the 10-year-old little girl, that baby right there, holding on to that money. Beautiful little smile. Look like she just has all the promise in the world. Beautiful little girl. We're learning more about that 10-year-old little girl who was stabbed to death by her own mother, allegedly. We will get more facts when the court dates start, but I truly believe that that's probably what happened. But let's talk about this, okay? Family members have identified the child, that baby girl, as Kamari Reed. Kamari Reed. Her mother, as you guys saw on the screen a moment ago, her name is Laurencia Reed. Laurencia Reed. Funny, a little bit of a funny name, but nonetheless. Laurencia Reed is facing a first-degree murder charge. And I'm going to tell you guys something. What I know about prosecutors and courts is usually when they charge you with first-degree murder, that usually proves intent. Intent. And they usually have pretty sufficient evidence to say, we pretty much know you did it. Okay? A first-degree murder charge and attempted murder charge for stabbing that little girl. Kamari's aunt, Tykita, Tykitta, Takita? I've never heard of a name like that either. Anyway, Kamari's aunt tells the news that they are hurt, they are angry, confused, and mostly saddened after losing 10-year-old Kamari. The aunt said that the family still doesn't know why her sister allegedly took her daughter's life, but she says right now they're just focusing on staying strong as a family. That girl was special. That smile right there. Let me see if I can go back to that baby's smile because she does have a really nice smile. That baby right there. That girl was special. Kamari's father said. So shout out to the father. We did have a father speak out, so that's good. I know she's filled with emotion and heartache. The father grieves the loss of his 10-year-old daughter during a candlelit vigil. Candlelit vigil. I'm glad they did a candlelit vigil rather than a balloon release. Because why release? Well, maybe they did. Damn. I was just getting ready to give them credit. Looks like some of those people are getting ready to release some air litter. But a candlelit vigil would have been, it's just fine. Okay? Anyway. I know she's in a better place and I know she's looking down on me, according to her dad. Now, Memphis police say that the child, who the family identifies as Kamari Reed, was allegedly stabbed by her mother, 29-year-old Laurencia Reed, on Friday at a Huntington Hills apartment in Raleigh. Neighbors say that they saw Kamari run out of the apartment unit scared for her life before she collapsed outside. Oh my goodness. Dang. That is a horrible way to go out at the hands of your mama. And why? There is no excuse. There's nothing that baby could have did to make her mom that upset. There is nothing. That baby tried to run and get to safety, get away from her mom. Wow. I think that's a very selfish thing because I've seen in a lot of cases, and I know it's not all cases, but I've seen in the stories that I talk about, too many of these stories where we have fathers who are willing and able to be in their children's lives. If the mom wants to give up on their children like that, they could literally just give the fathers an opportunity and say, you know what, Dad, take your kid. I don't want her anymore. I've had it up to here with your kid. Give the kid up. But you know, it's so funny how they will bring children into this world for the benefits that they can collect off of these kids, which we call that hashtag babies for benefits. They'll do that. They will prevent the biological father from seeing their kid, whether they're paying child support or not. They will make this man go through hell and hot water to see their kid. But oh, they'll have a boyfriend, and that boyfriend has unfettered, unmolested access to these kids. They don't even have to prove themselves as fathers, but if mom likes a man, that man can be around that kid all he wants to. That is a fact of too many cases. We've done almost 1,000 stories on this channel and counting. I have hundreds of emails that I can't even get to. I just don't have the time of the day. I could literally do this all day, every day, and would never run out of stories, guys. There's no reason I should ever have this much stuff to talk about. Rather than just giving this baby up. Give the baby to the father, give the father a chance, but she didn't want to do that. And for that, I believe first-degree murder is perfect. Let's move on. This little girl was rushed to the hospital, but she died at the hospital. I've never seen her in a bad place. I love that girl with everything in me. That was my shadow. If you see Kamari, you see me, according to Takeda Franklin, Kamari's aunt. Franklin described the 10-year-old girl as funny, kind, bubbly child that got along with everyone. Franklin said her niece, leaves behind 2 brothers. Now, it makes me wonder if she lived in the house with those 2 brothers or if she has 2 brothers with her dad. That I'm actually very curious about. Why did she specifically take this out on this baby? Not to say that she should have did more, but this should have never happened. But let's move on. First, she was not stable. She had to be resuscitated. Oh my goodness. This baby girl was stabbed 13 times. 13 times. That woman, that mother, stabbed that 10-year-old girl 13 times. 13 times, guys, that's hate. H-A-T-E. That is nothing more than hate. And I can absolutely say that this mother never loved her daughter. She does not love her daughter. She is not sorry. She is not remorseful. I believe that she should definitely be convicted of that first-degree murder charge. Maybe even get the ultimate penalty under law. Could the children have been from different dads? I thought about that too. Thank you for pointing that out. Could be different dads, which means it's even worse because that means she specifically targeted that baby. Franklin said that her sister was set to graduate from Kingsbury High in the next couple weeks. However, she said the opportunity for her sister to walk across the Kingsbury High. How old is she? Hold on. However, she said the opportunity for her sister to walk across the stage has now been stripped away. She's confused as to why her best friend did this to her. My sister is her best friend, Franklin said. Franklin said the entire family is just shocked by what happened. She said at the moment, they do not know what led to the events on Friday night. She said from her understanding, Laurencia admitted to was admitted to a mental health institution for evaluation and they have not made contact. Let me tell you guys how I feel about mental health. First of all, mental health is no excuse to commit murder. Let me repeat myself. Don't give people an excuse by saying, oh, well, they had mental health issues. I don't give a shit. Then maybe they shouldn't be parents. Maybe they shouldn't be parents if they present a danger to themselves or children. How about that? Mental health is never going to be an acceptable excuse for murdering children. Notice she only murdered 1 out of 3. That is intent in itself because she knew the damn difference. She didn't snap and just try to kill everybody. All right? Let's move on. An innocent child is gone and nobody knows the reason why. Nobody knows anything. We all are just feeding off the emotion that an innocent person died. Now, there was a GoFundMe, which is why I'm getting ready to talk about that picture that you just saw on my screen, right there with that baby holding that money. Ooh, I'm getting ready to make some of y'all mad right now. There's a GoFundMe that's been set up for the family to help with funeral arrangements and hospital bills. Let's talk about this GoFundMe real quick before I show y'all the news stories because I'm the GoFundMe police. If I see something, I'm going to say something. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the people who continue to use GoFundMe as insurance as opposed to using insurance for death, which is what it's meant for. They opened up a $5,000 GoFundMe and they had 124 dummies. 124 donors that donated and gave up $6,155. Let me point something else out to you if you guys can't read this on my screen. Do you guys see something wrong with this GoFundMe the way it's written? Does anybody notice that? Does anybody see anything wrong with this picture? I'm going to sit this here for a moment. I just want to see if you guys see anything that's a little bit off. If you see something wrong with this picture, you know how they used to have those magazines? And they'll be like, if you see, what do you see wrong in the picture? And you have to pick out all the items that you see that are wrong. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you why I'm bringing this up. Here's why I'm bringing this up, guys. Okay? I know what the hell she meant. I don't give a crap what she meant. What I'm talking about is the education level. Okay? Let's talk about this. You remember how I just said that the mom was getting ready to so-called graduate high school at the age of 29 years old? Then you have somebody by the name of Akira Reed, who is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of April Burks. So that means Akira Reed is responsible for putting up this GoFundMe that says, help me bury my niece Kamari, anything will hail. Anything will hail. They need to go to hell for writing this GoFundMe. Let me show y'all the rest of it. Because we are not done. You thought I was done? No. No, sir. No, ma'am. We are not done. Let me show you guys the message that's at the bottom. It says, as we all know, my baby niece was stabbed to death. Then there is a space, then a period, Then she says she was so innocent and had her whole life ahead of her, and there was no comma after innocent, but let's move on past that. If you met her, you'd love her, and there should have been a comma after her. She is the sweetest ever. This is such a tremendous loss for my family. Then there's an extra space in there, and I, at this devastating time. Anything would help. There should have been a period and then capitalized. Anything would help me and my family at this time. And they wrote it 2 times. To bury her. Like, who the fuck wrote this? Gucci Mane? What is bury? B-U-R-R-Y. Let me see if that's even a word. Oh, bury is actually a word. Y'all want to know what bury is? B-U-R-R-Y? So what she's saying is help me bury, which is having or containing burrs, B-U-R-S, or prickly. Of speech having a burr. Help me prickly my niece Kamari. Anything will hail. Burr. Dre the Dream said, that's a cold paragraph, dog. That's a cold paragraph. Woo. I'm going to tell you guys, if y'all ever wondered with this story, if I might have been mistakenly saying that she was graduating high school at 29, then just look at your screen and you can see right there on the screen that this MFer not only can't spell, doesn't know what punctuation is to save their life, and then on top of that, and I've told you guys, if you're going to ask for crowdfunding Gofundme money so you can prickly your niece, not to be funny, but didn't the mom actually prickly her own daughter 13 times with a knife? Not even trying to be funny with that one. She burred, aka pricklied, her daughter 13 times with a knife. Help me prickly my niece Kamari. Anything will hail. Nobody proofread this. And I've told you guys, if you're going to be so irresponsible to not have life insurance, the least you could do is donate some of this money for somebody, maybe not to write the whole thing for you, at least proofread it. Why can't you donate $100 and have somebody proofread this? Matter of fact, if you do it through Google Chrome, doesn't Google Chrome have a built-in spell check? Jesus. Google Chrome has a built-in spell check. If you write anything inside of Google Chrome, it's going to tell you, oh, you missed a period. Oh, bury is probably not, you didn't mean to put bury, B-U-R-Y. Anything will help. It would have told you it would have corrected the sentences. It would have done so much stuff for you. This is just really sad. The fact that we have that much help and we still screw it up. I'm sorry, and I know I shouldn't have spent that much time on that. Let me get y'all the fair usage. Let's get it. Sorry about that. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I'm just saying, if you're going to have the audacity to ask for $5,000, the least you could do is write a proper sentence. Have it spell checked. Let's get it.
A Memphis mother accused of killing her own daughter and then leaving her teen sister now critically injured in the hospital. Thank you for joining us. I'm Janae Lewis. This whole thing happened last night inside of an apartment. A woman who watched the aftermath told WREG's Jarita Patterson it's a day later and she is still understandably on edge.
Horrific and heartbreaking. Just some of the ways those living here inside the Huntington Hills apartments describe what they could hear and see Friday evening.
I look to my right, I see a baby running, and she just collapsed in the middle of the street.
That young child, just 10 years old, police are telling us. Detectives say the little girl was running for her life after being stabbed by her own mother, identified as Akira Reed.
It hurt my heart so bad. I cried for that baby last night.
The day after, this neighbor who did not want to go on camera is still wrestling with that heartache that will not go away. Understandably, she was shocked Friday night watching the aftermath of the deadly attack. She adds because things were so chaotic, she did not realize until later Reed's 18-year-old sister was also stabbed and left fighting for her life.
Rest the baby's soul and her sister. And they tried to kill the little baby. The little baby tried to drown the baby in the tub with her.
This tragedy further compounded because there was yet another child who may have witnessed all of it.
Her oldest son got away. He ran. That baby ran.
Neighbors describe what happened here as deeply.
I hope y'all heard that because I didn't even realize that. They said the other child ran. Listen at this.
There was yet another child who may have witnessed all of it.
Her oldest son got away. He ran. That baby ran.
So it sounded like she was actually might have been trying to kill both kids. So where is the third kid? Did she have two kids by one person? This is so confusing. Listen at this again.
Her.
This tragedy further compounded because there was yet another child who may have witnessed all of it.
Her oldest son got away. He ran. That baby ran.
The oldest son got away because he witnessed it.
Neighbors describe what happened here as deeply disheartening, but it's also unsettling as they're struggling to understand what would lead a mother.
So this woman has three kids. There is an older boy. So I don't know, I don't know their ages because they didn't tell us. But she said her oldest son witnessed her killing the girl and he ran. He's a kid. I'm glad he got away. So I don't know. So where was the third kid at? There's a third kid. I want to know what a third kid is.
To allegedly take the life of her own child. But they have an idea after overhearing what they described as a disturbing conversation.
She told the lady, the devil told her to do it.
The neighbor goes on to say, although she, as a mother of two herself, was crying for those hurt, she noticed Reed showed no emotion after she was taken into custody.
She looked like she was out of it. When they put her in the back of the police car, she's collapsed on the seat.
A crime neighbors say was committed with extreme cruelty against those most vulnerable, children. Reporting in Raleigh, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
At last check, the mugshot for Akira Reed was unavailable as police say she is, quote, being evaluated. Reed is charged with murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. We'll let you know once we learn when she's expected to face a judge. See on your screen here, Memphis police say the 10-year-old was stabbed to death by her own mother. Family members have identified her as Kamari Reed. Her mother is now facing a first-degree murder charge and an attempted murder charge for also stabbing her sister in this horrific incident. WREG's Kamari Reed joins us live outside of Regional Medical Center, where that 18-year-old is now recovering. Kamari, you had a chance to speak with family at that vigil earlier this evening. I can't imagine how they're coping. What did they tell you?
Janae, 10-year-old Kamari Reed's aunt tells me family members, they are hurt, they are angry, they are sad. And
so are y'all saying in the chat that the 18-year-old she stabbed as herself? So there was somebody else that was stabbed also? Jay, it is the 18-year-old sister who was going to graduate. Oh, okay. She was also stabbed. Wow. I'm sorry, y'all. We're doing this live. And I'm telling y'all, I read multiple articles on this, and none of it made any sense. Okay, so here's what it is, and this is why we're live. This is why we have the live chat. So somebody in the chat said she was trying to kill all 3 kids and stabbed her 18-year-old. But only ended up murdering the 10-year-old. And the other child got away. This is so confusing.
They are confused by this entire event. She tells me they don't know exactly what happened that night, but she says right now they're just...
I thought they was talking about, and so I have to retract that. So it's not the mother who was graduating high school. It was the 18-year-old that was graduating. I still don't take back what I said about their GoFundMe, though. So I do have to retract that. It wasn't the mom that was graduating high school. It was the 18-year-old. So that actually makes a lot more sense. So if y'all are listening, sorry about that.
just focusing on moving forward as a family.
The girl was special, man. It smelled right, man. That girl was special.
Filled with emotion and heartache, this father is grieving the loss of his 10-year-old daughter during her candlelight vigil.
I know she in a better place. I know she watching down on me.
Memphis police said the child, who family identified as Kamari Reed, was allegedly stabbed by her mother, 29-year-old Laurencia Reed, Friday night at the Huntington Hills Apartments in Raleigh. Neighbors said they saw Kamari run out the apartment unit scared for her life before collapsing outside.
We have, and I don't know how true this is, but I'm going to just take it that you guys are writing it in the chat. But somebody said the youngest kid, she tried to drown the youngest kid. Damn. Wow. Somebody else said it. The youngest baby, she tried to drown. So we'll, I'll have to hold my thought on that until I can find that information. They didn't put it out there. But thank you guys. If y'all are sharing that, if y'all know that's what it was, that's what she's being charged with, it's pretty messed up. Damn.
Police said she later died at the hospital.
I've never seen her in a bad place. I love that girl with everything in me. That was my shadow. If you see Kamari, you see me.
Kamari's aunt, Taikita Franklin, described the 10-year-old as a funny, kind, and bubbly child who got along with everyone. Franklin said her niece leaves behind 2 brothers. She said despite initial reports by Memphis police, only 2 people were injured that night, her niece Kamari and her other sister, Akira Reed, who's now recovering in the hospital.
First, she was not stable. She had to be resuscitated. She has been stabbed 13 times.
Franklin said her sister was set to graduate from high school in the next couple of weeks.
So, wow, damn. So they said, so she got stabbed 13 times? Wow. Wow. Guys, that is hateful. That is evil. Wow. You said, I bet the 18-year-old was trying to protect her baby sister. That's how she got stabbed. I can almost get that. That scenario actually does make sense. So I believe that scenario. I agree with you. Wow.
Stable. She had to be resuscitated. She has been stabbed 13 times.
Franklin said her sister was set to graduate from high school in the next couple of weeks. However, she said
and she's got her whole life ahead of her. She's trying to graduate and become something. And she got stabbed 13 times? Man.
Opportunity for her sister to walk across the stage has now been stripped away.
She's confused as to why her best friend did this to her. My sister is her best friend.
Franklin said the entire family is just shocked by what happened. She said at the moment they do not know what led to the events Friday night. She said from her understanding, Laurencia was admitted to a mental health institution for evaluation and they have not made contact.
The innocent child is gone and nobody knows the reason why yet. Nobody knows anything right now. We're just all feeding off the emotion that an innocent person is gone.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help cover funeral arrangements as well as hospital bills for that sister that is currently recovering in the hospital. You can find that information on our website, WREG.com. Reporting live in the medical district, I'm Warren, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, thank you.
Oh, this is just too much to try to process. First and foremost, to the family, I know I say some things that are not going to sit well with y'all sensibilities. I'm just sorry that y'all, as far as the extended family, had to go through this. The aunt, all the family members. I personally believe that this mother wanted to rob the father of an opportunity to raise that baby. She could have just given up custody. There was nothing that could have made her that mad to do what she did. Stabbing someone like that and then trying to drown the other kid, that's nothing but hate. That's intent. That is intentional. For that, this mother should never, ever, ever, as far as she should never be referred to as a mother ever again. This woman should go to jail for life and potentially face the ultimate penalty under law. To the 18-year-old, man, I don't know if that 18-year-old is going to survive. That's a lot of stab wounds. All we can do is pray and hope. And hope that she survives. I don't know that they said if she is going to or not. I'm not sure. To the other kid, I don't know the status of the other kid. They didn't give a lot of details. But one that we do know, this baby, let me see if I can get her face back up here. This baby right here. Let me tell y'all why this is odd for me. The fact that they put up a GoFundMe, but our people are always flexing with money. Why? Why would they take a picture of this 10-year-old baby with money? Why? We know what it's supposed to symbolize, that we got money, we not broke over here. That's what that's supposed to symbolize. I know that's probably not what the baby is what this baby girl is trying to represent, but that's usually what the parents are trying to represent, is that our kids got money. We got money the long way. Until it's time for us to have money. Now we have all this family, all these friends, who apparently the funeral bill is too large for them to take care of, that they asked for crowdfunding, and somebody didn't even think enough of the crowdfunding to say thank you by writing a proper sentence, a proper message. So at least we can understand, and it's not unintelligible, trying to figure out what it is that you meant. You read that, and it was not in proper English. It had no punctuation. Ridiculous. It should be a rule. It should be a law that GoFundMe should reject any excuse me. They should reject any GoFundMe that is not written in proper English. They should literally do that. You're going to ask for that much money, you should at least donate some money to have somebody proofread the damn thing. GoFundMe should be used for life. L-I-F-E, for life. Life insurance is for death. GoFundMe should not supplement life insurance. My stance on that is very clear. I hope she gets the fullest penalty under law. She deserves nothing but life in prison with zero possibility of rehabilitation or parole. To that 18-year-old, we pray that that 18-year-old will survive and pull through. I don't know the details about that. To the other child, I don't know the details of that. I hope and pray that that kid will survive. But to this baby, 10-year-old Kamari, young princess, R.I.P. That baby deserved to grow up and become something great. We're the AFC, DJ Just Jay, we're the advocates for children, and we advocate for our children first. And this type of thing it has to stop. And we got to start putting some respect on these fathers' names. And if she wants to take this out on these kids like that, if you had those type of thoughts and stuff in your mind, you should have given up custody. Woman up and do that.